going on, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today we are doing the next episode of the Republic of Turkey. Last time, go ahead and now check that video. I always say last time, it's a habit of mine, and I kind of forget what I did last time. Anyway, I actually have some news. So, the first news I have is for Geopolitical Simulator 5. Geopolitical Simulator 5 is going to be the next installment in the Geopolitical Simulator series. Now, if you do not know him, go subscribe to Gabriel Vogel. Gabriel Vogel makes great content, and he makes similar content to mine. And I think he is a great guy, and I think you should all subscribe to him. He created a website that basically shows a bunch of features that people want in Geopolitical Simulator 5, and I'll link that in the description below. And basically it has a lot of cool features that would be in the next series, and Eversim actually accepted that. So I will provide the link to that website in the description, and tell me what you guys think of that. And I also have a second set of news. I actually asked Eversim why some legislation has disappeared from the game, such as the Paris Accords from the Environment tab and Universal Basic Income from the Work tab. And I got a reply from this, and this is what it says. Regarding the Paris Agreement, in November 2016, the agreement has been definitely validated because it has been ratified by more than 55% of CO2 emitting countries. Then, in theory, it's now too late. No country could now waive it. Even if Donald Trump, or in the way they say it, the Trump, is doing so, he is violating the agreement. And it would take 3 years to be accepted by Paris Agreement members. Added to this, the game engine could not track such subtle per each country impact on CO2 involved by the changes made by the Paris Agreement criteria. Plus, this happening of 30 years or more. So, I mean, they realize, you're not going to be playing the game for 30 years in-game. Due to this, we decided to remove it instead of having controversy and a non-understandable feedback to the player. Regarding Universal Basic Income, while it was possible to pass the law, the consequences in-game were not realistic enough to offer the player valid feedback and experience. Due to this, we decided to remove it. It might be re-added in the future after we could spend more efforts to make a better simulation of the consequences. So, basically what they're saying is that the consequences of Universal Basic Income, which if you do not know what Universal Basic Income is basically giving everyone money. If you want to talk about free money, Universal Basic Income, is what that is. Every single person in the country gets money, I think above a certain age. People such as Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who's running Facebook, have suggested that we need a system in which we have Universal Basic Income. So those are basically the two basic news of Geopolitical Simulator that I have, and it is actually pretty interesting, and I do really appreciate Eversim paying attention into their game, and if they see that the Paris Agreement doesn't exactly do what they want or provide what should happen to the country, and especially Universal Basic Income, it doesn't show the consequences of using Universal Basic Income, then I really think that it's amazing that they care for their game, and it kind of restores my confidence in the game and in the company, in which sometimes I lose faith in them. Obviously, I will continue playing this game, and I will definitely buy Geopolitical Simulator 5 upon release. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to the game. Let's go ahead and check our nuclear arsenal. We do have a nuclear program now. We have nuclear bombs. Now, we have 3 nuclear bombs. Our target number is 30 nuclear bombs. So, yeah, and that's... we are now officially a nuclear nation. We have nuclear weapons, and we are now a part of the nuclear club. So let's go ahead and actually check, see how much. Okay, so no one else has actually gotten into the nuclear club. Alright, so now we are going to go ahead and come over to housing. We're going to go ahead and do a project, maybe about, let's see how much we got. Let's see, about 20,000 houses that we can go ahead and rehabilitate. And so this is, that's actually interesting. Housing construction, we have about 2 million houses, public houses, and which of those 2 million, there are 800,000 that are not good necessarily. So it's going to take a few years for us to really process through a lot of these. No workers recovered and no funds recovered. Number of homeless people, 128,000. We were going down, but then we had a spike. I don't know what that was. Rent increases, state property. I think we might go ahead and switch to a low salary rent allowance, which basically what this is that it is a allowance of money that the government will give to people to basically just about help them out. You know, it's a kind of say like, you know, they can't exactly support themselves, so they get some government income. It is a welfare system. It is a little controversial, but it's something that I would actually look forward to do. GDP per capita, wow. Since the start of the game, since we began, we had 14,700 GDP per capita. That was about the average amount of money that people are making in a year. Now it is 18,000. It is now 4,000 above that. So we're actually doing a great job on this. Turk Works project. We have an unemployment rate of about 3.8%. I don't think there is anything that I really need to do on this. Unemployment is already low enough. We can actually change some of this to fit our needs, but since I did kind of get rid of a lot of parties, I am not that confident that right-wing parties would even support those sort of left-wing policies that I would actually enact. So we are not going to go ahead and go through with Turkworks as of yet until we can secure the power of our parliament to a consultative and no actual power role, which for now we're going to go ahead and continue with a party system in which we are the vote of laws are basically kind of controlled by the parties. Soon enough, we will move to a single-party state in which we will get rid of the nationalist movement. There might be a little unrest in that time. You know what? We actually might do it this episode. Either that, or we can run through another election and try to expand our party's influence and try to win this election, which will only be a two-party election. So we have the option to dissolve the parliament, in which we will try and get more seats. Because it is only a 56 to 44% difference. We are building another power plant, are we? Yeah, we are. That will be done in about another 1 or 2 months. We have a lot of gas over here. I think I was actually told by someone, we're going to go ahead and look over here. We're going to go to construction. We're going to go to oil platforms. And we're going to look more to see what kind of oil we can find. Huh, there's actually a lot outside of Cyprus. We're going to go ahead and start extracting that oil. About 120 days, same amount as the power plant. But the power plant is almost finished. So let's go ahead and continue. let us also do another investment into roadway. We can go ahead and start developing more roadway for Turkey. Take about 6 months, and we go ahead and do that. And we will now have expanded infrastructure projects in order to help out infrastructure and also to boost growth, so more trucks can get to supermarkets, and so those supermarkets can get the money back to the government and stuff like that, and people can actually get to work easier, which gets them money, which gets me money, the national economy money actually, and stuff like that. So transportation is definitely important. Oil tanker port, I don't know if I want to do this. We have about 50,000 manpower left. Most of it is going into housing. I don't know what an oil tanker port does. We can put one in the southern part of Turkey so it's connected to the Mediterranean, because I don't think we have a lot of oil partners that would actually want to be here. Unless we did build an oil pipeline into Europe, because we do have a sort of an influx of oil. That actually I might have to wait to see if we need a discussion about that. Let's go ahead and check our other welfare policies. Abortion is legal on demand. Legal on demand. I think we're going to go ahead and move down. Question of the day. What is your opinion on abortion? That is actually a really interesting question. What is your opinion on abortion? Should it be legal on demand, or should it be in the cases of stuff like rape, or whenever they are going to suffer from birth defects and stuff like that? Or do you think it shouldn't be allowed at all? Or actually not even rape or birth defects, but if it endangers the mother's life? But in that case, we're going to launch a referendum in which we are going to try and move the legislation on abortion from illegal, except in the case of rape or birth defects. So we're going to go ahead and do it. Okay, we have a 61 to 39 referendum thing. So we're going to go ahead and go to the 26th, in which we will enact that law. People are not liking that. Majority religion definitely likes that. Yeah. Majority religion of Turkey is actually very, very Muslim. It's about 79-80% Sunni. If you don't know the difference between that, there's a lot of Turkey viewers that watch this, watch my content. But Sunni and Shiite, there's like two different sides of Islam. I'm gonna go ahead and let that up to my viewers to explain the difference between Sunni and Shia. Surinamese. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and let him in. We're light green with Iran again, but we are definitely strong allies with Azerbaijan. Let's go ahead and buy some military equipment, but after we launch another campaign to add about 600,000 people into our military. Are you serious? Hang on. We actually have some reaction to our abortion law. I'm going to go ahead and put that at 602,000. And let's go ahead and check. Oh, we have a riot. Oh, we did have a riot. Law on abortion. Turnout was high. Is that what it said? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of all these. The riot's already ended. Okay, let's do this by date.
I wanted to congratulate you on your pro-life decision. It's just another reminder that abortion is the murder of an innocent and defenseless human being. By bravely putting yourself in the position that you did, I can assure you that the faithful will join me in supporting your decision.
Huh. Alright, we got the support of the majority religion, which again is Islam. I don't think there is any difference. It just kind of shows the difference between the Sunni and the Shiites. And but overall, it is still Islam. And so I guess like the entirety of the religion agrees with us. Muslims, 22.4% of the world. Other religions, 28%. I think most of them are centered in Africa. Hindus, 13%. Buddhists, 7.1%. Jews, 0.2%. Wow, there's a lot. There's a really small amount of Jews. Orthodox, 4%. Most of those are concentrated in Russia and Eastern Europe. Catholics, 16%, which those are centered in Germany, Italy, Spain, Mexico. I think a lot of South American, yeah, definitely South America. You know, Brazil, Argentina, stuff like that. I am like probably 90% sure that they are majority Catholic. Other Catholic nations, I believe. Ooh, there was actually a disaster in the channel. But you know, these Western European countries. I don't know about Switzerland. There was an oil disaster in the English Channel. There's an oil slick just off of Normandy. Major oil disaster. And there was a terrorist attack in Belgium. Let's go ahead and give them a donation of about $1 million, even though we are sponsoring terrorism. 3 are dead and 21 are wounded. Alright, we give our condolences to the Belgians, and we will move on with our own work. Health and Social Security, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's go ahead and move that up to about 250,000. And legislation, let's go ahead and see what we can change. Pension, minimum retirement pension, 50. I think we're going to go ahead and start off with $20. $20 a month. Maybe we can go ahead and move that up. I think I am actually thinking about enacting these things, but these are like major liberal sort of things. I don't know about retirement though. I don't know what spectrum that is. If one of y'all can actually help me out with that, then that would actually be really cool. You know, I learned politics along with you guys, and I also love politics, so that's why I love doing this channel. That's why I'm called Politics Gaming. Income tax exoneration for private retirement schemes. It encourages private pensions. So I guess it's like relying on a private market to basically, it's kind of saying partial, but total, that'll be a cost of $1.7 billion. But by capitalization, we actually make money. So we will make $3.3 billion. It is an exemption from taxes and social contributions to give incentives to businesses to give their employees supplemental pension. These payments are financial investments and are handed over to specialized institutions. So we're going to go ahead and launch that. We're going to go ahead and try to see if we can do that. The AKP loves it by 100%, but the nationalist movement does not like that and will vote for it by 52%. So about 52% of their party members are voting for it. See, soon enough, we will actually churn over to a one-party system, and you know, one thing I always recommend: do not mess with retirement ever. You make it go up. Oh my God, you are going to get your ass kicked. I did that as Brazil one time, and everyone freaking hated me. There was general strikes. It affected the economy. I had to resign. It was terrible. Do not mess with retirement age. Let's go to police. Public safety. Let's go ahead and give that more money. Because we have a lot of money to spend. And we're paying off our debt. We're paying off our debt. We are almost about to pay off the debt. And so that's something, because yeah, honestly, we actually do have a shit ton of money to spend. So let's go ahead and do full funding on all of our research sectors. And then let's make 20 of these. Let's distribute them over the territory. It's about 15,000. Looks like our housing projects are actually done. And then let's move it up to about 100. Okay, that was about $6 billion, about $20 billion that we're spending on that. Let's go ahead and come over to industry. And then let's see what else we can do. Bottled water, biotechnology. Okay, let's actually start doing some biotechnology. Let's go ahead and exonerate it. And I'm not going to put any customs duties on it. Chemical industry. We're not giving that any money. No, we're not. Clothing. Let's go ahead and see what we need for clothing. We need synthetic fibers and cotton. So let's go ahead and go to synthetic fibers. Let's see how we're doing on synthetic fibers. Let's go ahead and subsidize it. $100 million. We're going to go ahead and give it some exoneration and exempt them from taxes. Let's go ahead and start up a tire industry and exonerate it. And utility vehicle and construction, we're good on utility vehicles. Let's go ahead and make some quality Turkish video games. Yeah, definitely not 100 million. We're just gonna go ahead and give it 10 million. We're gonna exempt it from taxes. Rare earth oxides, we can't start that up. Plastic industry, we're gonna go ahead and try to start that up. We definitely need a bunch of oil for it. I think we're gonna go ahead and give it $50 million since it's not as important. We don't need it, but we are going to start it up. Let's go ahead and start a pharmaceutical industry. This definitely needs at least over $100 million in exoneration. So we're going to go ahead and give it $300 million and exonerate it. We had a trade balance of pharmaceuticals with $60 billion in trade. So we are importing, I guess, about $60 billion of pharmaceuticals, which actually that has gone up by about $40 billion since 2016. So that is definitely something we need to get on. We can go ahead and nationalize it. Let's go ahead and see how we get that. We barely can pass it. So we're going to go ahead and do it by a partial amount of nationalization. Maybe we can try to nationalize it next time we go in. You know what? Actually, what do we need for an aircraft carrier? Because we are probably not producing anything. We need electrical components, steel, and uranium. So let's go ahead and check electrical components. Electrical components, we're definitely producing electrical components, so we are good on that. We need, what else do we need? We actually, definitely aeronautical construction. Let's go ahead and give that about $500 million in subsidies and then exonerate it. Aircraft carriers, so we need steel, so I think we are actually producing some steel. Let's go to steel. We're definitely producing some steel. We're producing a lot of steel. We're about producing 2% of the world's production of steel. In compared to the world, how are we doing? Production. We are above Italy, but below Brazil. So we're producing a lot of it, but China does produce most of the world's steel. If we need to, which I highly doubt we'd need to, then we can import some from steel, which actually they have $1 trillion trade balance of steel. Hell, they need to sell some to the United States. And last but not least, let's go over here and go to uranium. Uranium, we are producing it. And compared to the world, we're actually producing 5% of the world's uranium. We're above Russia, but below Niger. We're using 1% of the world's uranium. So we have a trade balance of about $737 million. We're making $733 million in sales, and we're selling it for about $136,000. Well, actually, we purchase it for about $136,000, and then we sell for $182,000. Let's go ahead and skip a week. Disturbing budget deficit. We don't have a deficit, you dumbass. Oh. So we paid off $7 billion in debt. Let's go and check our debt. It is at 2%. I do not know how we're going to ever, like, incur debt again. I want to see how much actual debt we have. Let's go ahead and look. We have $38 billion in debt. We keep on paying it off. So we definitely should be having a good credit rating for this. We are staying at a double B with Grumpies. We are at a triple A with Harshness. We, with the British one, the Quiche ratings, we are at a triple B, and with Ki Gong, we are at an A, against a double B from whenever we started. High density in the labs, we are already doing some finances on that, and we are producing a lot more. Let's go ahead and check our crime rate. Crime rate 0.38. Compared to the world, we actually dropped. Let's go ahead. We have a lot of prisons. Amnesty. We might do a referendum on the death penalty. So we can bring back the death penalty. Other than that, is there anything else we need to do this episode? Associations, I think we might actually start cracking down on these. Associations dependent on the state. Subsidize an association. I think we might subsidize a few of these. Let's go ahead and give more funding to our sports. National Youth Movement. Scout movements. Let's go ahead and give a lot of funding to this. Development of sports in schools. Development of university sport. Against doping. Sports at a handicapped. Holiday camps. Let's go. National Youth Movement. Alright. Let's go ahead and check on that. We are now. And then let's see what the reaction is. The homosexual community. What are they protesting about? There's a riot too. Let's go ahead and give the army to orders to attack. But the sit-in, I think we're gonna let it go on. Which I want to figure out why this homosexual. Oh, that was a month ago. I want to figure out why the homosexual community is crying about this. Alright, we nationalized. No, you can stop your spying. Law on tax exemptions. And it has passed. NATO, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and let them in. They're not that happy with us, but I'm going to go ahead and let them in. Finances. What is our growth right now? 6.49%, and inflation is sitting at about 1.9%. So we are good on that. Political parties. Change political parties. We can go ahead and like go authoritarian or something like that. I'd have to test that. Alright, let's go ahead and get this riot over with so we can go ahead and get out. Move in, move in, move in. Well, it's already over. Took you long enough. 4%. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. It's kind of gaining and lowering in Steam. Alright. Oh, we suffered a terrorist attack. Oh my god, 81 dead. Christ, let's give them $10 million in aid. What happened? Suicide truck attack.
A truck transporting an explosive load crashed into a police station. The surrounding buildings were affected, and the death toll will surely be very high.
Yep. It's crazy. 81 dead. Tokyo Olympics. We're heading toward the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. We can go ahead and, just before we go, we're going to go ahead and do this. Let's go to disciplines. Give them all of them more money. We're going to show off to the world that Turkey is not going to be hindered by terrorism, and that we do not give a shit about anything. So we're going to go ahead and pump a lot of money into training for the Olympics. That's it. There's anything that we need to fully fund? Let's go with skiing, table tennis. Let's go shooting. American football. Boxing. Let's do our quality Turkish. Oh, and cycling. Alright, it's about $104 million that we're pumping into sports. And if you like this episode, we actually got a lot done in this episode. So if you like this episode, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. Go donate to my Patreon if you want to participate in any giveaways that I'm having, which I am going to have a giveaway soon. And I will announce that later on. So if you want to participate in that giveaway, go ahead and go to my Patreon and start donating. And I will see you guys in the next episode.